On. Hey everyone, welcome back. Part 2, episode 13, the Brothers of Broad Street podcast. Once again, I'm here with Bryce Zelig, and we're also alongside Anthony Regabudo. Ant, thank you for coming on again. We are happy to have you. What we're going to get into this episode, we're going to switch gears a little bit. Something that Bryce and I haven't talked about in a little bit, football. And honestly, it's been too long. I miss talking about the birds. So on Twitter the other day, I saw a very interesting picture, tweet, whatever you want to call it, that would bring up a very good debate. And that's what we're going to get into here tonight. The question was, which quarterback will throw more passing touchdowns this season? Like for Jalen Hurts, retweet for Carson Wentz. Bryce, I want to get your opinion on this first. Which quarterback do you think will throw more passing touchdowns this season, Jalen Hurts or Carson Wentz?
Okay, so in the past, I've been called a Carson Wentz hater, which I absolutely am. Hate Carson Wentz. But, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm going with Jalen Hurts just because, now hear me out, I think the Colts are going to be a very run-first type team. I think they're going to be running the ball a lot. I don't think Carson Wentz is going to be throwing the ball nearly as much as he's thrown over the last couple of years. I think the Eagles are going to be the complete opposite. I know they brought in a lot of running backs, but I think Jalen Hurts, since, we don't fully know in this organization, as we've been told, is not fully bought into Jalen Hurts yet. I think they're about like 70% in on him right now. So I think, they're going to want Sirianni to throw the ball out. They're going to want him to, especially with Devontae Smith, they want the Eagles to be like an exciting type of rebuild. They want them to be like Miami was over the last 2 years, like a team that's rebuilding, but they're exciting to watch. Like you want to go to their games, you're looking forward to the future. So I think Jalen Hurts has got a lot on his, they both have a lot to prove. They, this is 2 very, very big years. If they have bad years, they could not be starting quarterbacks anymore. But I'm just going to go with Jalen Hurts just off of the fact that I believe he will be throwing the ball much, much, much more than Carson Wentz will be throwing the ball this season. And also Carson Wentz is a horrible quarterback.
And because you hate Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Rags, I want to get your first reaction to that. Which quarterback do you think is going to throw more touchdowns this season?
Okay, so listening to Bryce, I definitely disagree. I think that the idea of Jalen Hurts throwing all those touchdown passes and us filling the seats and the front office being all happy, I feel like that's definitely the goal we want to accomplish, but I just don't see that happening. I vividly remember me and you talking one night about it, Bryce, and me and you both agree that we do not think Jalen Hurts should be a starting quarterback, let alone our starting quarterback. So
I can assure that this was true.
I'm not a Carson Wentz guy anymore either. However, I don't know. I just think when you look at the two of them, I think Carson Wentz, one, is in a way better position with his team to throw more touchdown passes. I think the Eagles are, as much as I hate to say, I think we are a mess right now. I don't want to believe that, but I think it's a harsh truth that us Eagles fans have to face. I think it's going to be a tough year for us, and I do see Carson Wentz flourishing this year with the Colts. I do have to predict that.
Can I make Jim, one more point before you go? I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
Carson Wentz is also a walking injury.
Sure, he is very injured.
He literally could go out week. He could literally get hurt coming out of the tunnel. Like with the smoke going in the air, he could just twist his ankle and.
It's a very good point.
Offensive line, who knows?
But listen, Rags, thank you, Bryce. What does Carson Wentz have in Indianapolis that the Philadelphia Eagles do not?
A competent head coach.
And an offensive line. Yes. Now, Carson Wentz is going to the literally ranked best offensive line in football. All those guys are young. I think 3 out of 5 are Pro Bowlers. So he's going to literally be playing quarterback behind a brick wall. Like
he'll still fumble the ball. He'll just still fumble the ball every game because he's fumbled the ball every single game in his career.
Can I get my points in, and then can you talk about how much?
I just refuse to say anything good about him. Like it makes me mad. Like hearing his name. I'm sorry.
To get to the question,
I'll hold myself back.
You're good. You could have Reds. I'm done. You could talk about how much you hate him on a totally different segment. But to get back to the question, I think Carson Wentz, not just because I'm a huge Wentz fan, I think Carson Wentz is going to have more passing touchdowns this season. Because when you look at both rosters, this Colts roster was a playoff team last year with Phillip Rivers, who honestly, we all know he just retired. He doesn't have the best arm, even when he was in the prime of his career. He does these, rinky-dink passes, those quick out routes. Carson Wentz can sling it. So
to the other team.
And And he's also reunited with Frank Reich. And Frank Reich orchestrated a very good offense to where he threw 33 touchdowns in 13 games, the most in Eagles franchise history. And then even the following year when Wentz came back from a back surgery, I know people, kind of forget, but Wentz did have good statistics that year. And I know when you look at the Colts are a run-first team, but the year that the Eagles were so good with Carson Wentz and he was having the MVP year, one could make an argument that we were a run-first team too. Okay, we had LeGarrette Blount, we had Jay Ajayi, we had Darren Sproles. I mean, all three of those guys.
Corey Clement.
And Corey Clement. And Corey Clement.
You just left him out there.
No, that's my apologies. Corey Clement, I forgot. Super Bowl legend. But all of those players were huge essential pieces in our run. And they re-signed, I'm not saying T.Y. Hilton's not half of what he was, but they re-signed T.Y. Hilton, who's a very good veteran wide receiver. Michael Pittman is going into his second year.
He's going to have a huge year.
I like Michael Pittman a lot, yeah.
That dude's a stud.
I'm all in on him. Yeah, he's going to have a huge year.
And honestly, listen, I know Devontae Smith is a beast, Heisman winner, everything like that. But Rager did not have a good season. And then you have Devontae Smith. So you have two very inexperienced wide receivers at the NFL level. I trust the receiving corps in Indianapolis right now.
Guess you forget about Travis Fulgham. I mean,
Julio
Jones. Literally Julio Jones.
I like Fulgham, honestly, and I don't know why he didn't play towards the end of the season. And before Wentz had whatever he had going on with Philadelphia, I don't know if he had the yips or what was going on. But Wentz is a better passer than Jalen Hurts. And I know Wentz was scrambling a lot behind the Eagles' offensive line, but he will not have to do that in Indianapolis. And Wentz is a pass-first quarterback. Jalen Hurts, no matter what, he's a run-first quarterback. We all have to admit that. He looks to run before he looks to pass.
He absolutely does.
And I do not trust that offensive line in Philadelphia. Actually, real quick, I want to give a shout-out. How about our boy Jason Kelsey bartending at OD in Seattle? How sick is that?
Awesome.
That's so cool. Did you guys see that beer chug he did?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the man.
But anyway, yeah, like Jason Kelsey, he's probably in his last year with the Birds. Lane Johnson's had a lot of injuries over the past couple of years. So is Brandon Brooks. I don't know if you trust Andre Dillard yet. And Jordan Mailata was a rugby player before he came to the NFL. I do like his potential, but I don't see Jalen Hurts throwing more touchdowns than Carson Wentz this year, especially when you look at player for player on both rosters.
I think another key point and an X factor to this, potential, matchup with the tight ends is Dallas Goedert. I think you got to account for him. I think he could have a huge, huge year. He could be like, I know this sounds crazy, but he's got potential to be a top 5 tight end type guy. He's got the talent. He can break a tackle.
I think he's top 10 in the NFL.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
he's definitely top. He's definitely top 10.
That's not bias or anything. I think statistically, he's a top 10 tight end in the NFL.
No doubt. He's a top 10 tight end. So I think getting rid of Ertz and being able to, have a guy like him, this is his big year. This is going to be his coming out year. He'll be the number one guy. He'll get a majority of the snaps. I think he could be a key piece. I could see him getting in the end zone 6 to 8 times this season. He's an end zone. I mean, he's a red zone guy. Even with Wentz around, he was the guy that they threw to in the end zone. He had plenty of touchdowns, even though he was not the main guy. Yeah,
Bryce, honestly, I mean, to go off of your point, I think you're kind of undermining his. I think he can go for more touchdowns than that because he's really the only guy on offense.
No, I think he's definitely even with Doug.
Proven guy. My bad. Only proven guy. We do have Devontae Smith and Sanders, but
I know Doug is Doug was really big on. He was the main red zone guy. If you especially looked over the last 2 years, they looked at him in the red zone. I don't see Sirianni changing that. I think he's going to be when the Eagles get to the 20-yard line, they are going to look for Dallas Goedert in the end zone for sure.
Now you brought up another name that Eagles fans have loved over the years. He's one of my favorite players. Guys, do we think Zach Ertz is going to be on the Eagles roster come the first game of the season, or where do we think he's going? Rags, I want to get your opinion first on that. Do you think Ertz will be with the Eagles? Yes.
I do not think that he'll be on the Eagles. I'm honestly not too sure where he's going to end up. I haven't really looked into any of the trade rumors surrounding him, but I don't know. I also kind of agree with us not keeping him. As we were just talking about Dallas Goedert, I think he has top 5 potential. He's already top 10. I think we can move in that direction and move away from Ertz, especially if we can get a good piece for him and unload some of the contract. I'm not sure, like I said, where he's going to end up or any of the teams, swirling around him, but I'm okay with parting ways with Zach Ertz, and thank you to him for everything that he's done for us.
Bryce, how about you? Do you see Ertz as a Philadelphia Eagle to start the season?
Ertz has absolutely zero chance of being a Philadelphia Eagle. We have a better chance of being on the Philadelphia Eagles than he does. I mean, he's been openly saying he does not want to play for Philadelphia Eagles. There's literally zero chance. I think he'd rather honestly be cut. The number one team I see him going to, I see him possibly going to a couple other teams, but the number one team, I think it screams it, is the Seattle Seahawks. They, I could feel like I haven't really heard many rumors, but I definitely see that's a Pete Carroll type move to make, give up a fourth round pick possibly and take him. Russell Wilson obviously
tried the Jimmy Graham experiment. That didn't work. They tried the Greg Olsen experiment. That didn't really, he was older, so it didn't really work out. Ertz would be a good veteran piece to bring in there.
Sorry to cut off, Bryce. The Chargers, when they got rid of, I know Hunter Henry's now on on Patriots. Did they fill the tight end role or no?
They drafted a kid pretty high, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Still though, you could bring in Ertz to be a very consistent piece for Herbert and to groom the young guy.
And he's strong. Obviously, Stanford, I feel like he could be, that's like a hometown place for him. I feel like that could be a good landing zone for him, especially with Herbert, compliment Herbert. He's obviously emerging onto the scene as one of the next, best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think that could be a good security blanket in the red zone, especially for Justin Herbert.
Both of you guys brought up two very good organizations. The Seahawks, I think, is very interesting because, listen, we were talking about, last episode when it comes to basketball, Steph Curry doesn't have that many years left.
They brought in Jared Cook this offseason. The Chargers. I knew they brought in some sort of guy.
Okay.
I know that they drafted another kid, Donald. I think they drafted him. I doubt they'd bring Ertz in just because him and Jared Cook have very similar type games.
Okay. I didn't know that.
That's just no. I knew they added some. Like I'm pretty sure they drafted a kid, and I knew they added a veteran. So I don't see them bringing Ertz. I think I just wanted to make that point for the fans.
No, it's good that you brought that up because that was going to be my next question. Jared Cook played for the Saints, and I could see Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints making a push for Ertz to bring him in there because now they have a new quarterback moving in. So to kind of take the pressure off Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara is definitely going to be running the ball a lot more this year. But to give a guy, whoever starts, whether it's Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston, to give those guys kind of like an out, like a when in doubt, throw it to Ertz kind of thing. Ertz was always that guy for any quarterback that we had. The Chargers, I think, is very interesting because what they did with Hunter Henry, they had Antonio Gates at the time, and they kind of groomed him a little bit. Gates, fantasy legend.
That guy just played till he was like 100 years old.
Yeah,
I used to pick Antonio Gates every year in fantasy, and then he'd have some toe fungus midway through the year. And then he would be out for the rest of the season. But and then Bryce with the Seahawks, honestly, that would be a good move too, because like we were saying with Steph Curry and the Warriors, Russell Wilson, how many years do we think Russell Wilson has left at the peak? You know what I mean?
I hear rumors all the time that he doesn't he's not really fond with Pete Carroll in the situation.
I think you might be covering your mic.
Same thing. Yeah, he's not rocking with
good.
Sorry about that. No, but I think I just hear multiple rumors that, this could be like his last year. He doesn't really like Pete Carroll. So I definitely see them getting a guy. I mean, their tight ends position is definitely not where they want it to be right now.
Yeah.
If you can get a guy like Ertz and put him alongside DK and Tyler Lockett, they're going to have a solid offense. They're going to score a lot of touchdowns. Wilson, obviously, no doubt, in my opinion, is probably a top 3 quarterback, definitely top 5 quarterback in the league.
Did they get Chris Carson back this year?
Yes. He looks like a beast in the weight room. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures.
He's a stud. He can't seem to stay healthy, but he's a stud when he's playing.
They did bring him back on a deal. So
okay. That Seahawks team would be good. They got their defense didn't play as well last year, but you do have Jamal Adams back there. Someone to always look out for. Like you said, the Seahawks got to make a move to keep Russell Wilson happy because before this offseason started off, we thought Russell Wilson was gone. You know what I mean? It sounded like he was requesting trades and he wanted out. I'm also nervous. Did you guys see Russell Wilson got Michael Jordan's trainer?
Tim Grover?
Tim Grover
is working out with Russell.
MVP Russ. Yeah, MVP Russ. Lock it in. Bryce's best bets. I know we weren't doing it tonight, but Tim Grover.
Tim Grover's book, I read it. It's called Relentless. It's all about him training Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Fantastic book. I definitely recommend to all you listeners out there.
It was awesome. I read it earlier this year, and it was a very good book. And I want to get the book Winning by him too.
Yep.
But Winning.
I don't read, but I'm sure it's a great book.
It is. It's really good.
No, it's tough, man. I mean, you're reading, you're hearing some of these stories. You're like, this guy was
It
tough.
takes you into the mindset of those players, and obviously, Kobe has a very similar had a very similar mindset to Michael Jordan, and it just goes into that and goes very in depth into those mindsets and how those guys elevated themselves and ultimately separated them from the rest of the competition.
Right, so I want to let you know about, because Rags, you will definitely remember this. Just finishing the book, so talking about mindset, and I think this guy definitely gets overlooked. A segment in the book, Tim Grover was talking about Larry Bird's mentality, and before Larry Bird did the 1988 3-point contest.
Yeah, he said who's coming in second.
All time.
He was in the locker room or whatever, they were getting ready, and he turned to everybody and said, "So who's coming in second place?" And like everybody was just like, "Oh my God!"
I would have not even came out.
Yeah. And he won in his warm-up jacket. He never took it off, right?
If you haven't seen the clip yet, I watched it after I read it in the book. Look up 1988 3-point contest. Larry Bird never took off his warm-up jacket. He did a 3-point contest in his warm-up jacket. It was insane. It was crazy.
He's such a legend.
Different mentality right there.
But to get back to the Eagles, listen, I don't see Ertz staying with the Philadelphia Eagles all season. I do see him starting the season, just because I don't know if they're going to be able to, like, what team, wants a tight end that's been coming off the past couple injuries. I mean, 2 years ago, he had the rib injury against the Cowboys. Last year, was it his back or hip? What did he have that he was out for a little bit, but no one really thought he was hurt?
I couldn't tell you.
Well, he was out for a couple weeks, but I think they'll keep him, and then they'll trade him midway through the season. I think a contender.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got to be a team that's contending, that's either been to the playoffs and maybe lost first round, or a team that's got to get over the NFC Championship hump, or
like a Chargers or somebody that
maybe Arizona. I was just looking over; they have Charles Clay and Jermaine Gresham as their tight end. So I mean, I think Bryce, if he could put on a few pounds, can maybe fill that role. So
I got the heart Rags, you know that.
Yeah, of course. So I think
might not hold up, but
he could complement Kyler Murray a little bit and get them hanging with the Rams, the Seahawks.
Another
DeAndre Hopkins over there in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean,
is Fitzgerald coming back for? Fitzgerald's done.
No, I think he's done.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he done this year? Yeah,
I think he retired. I mean, if he didn't, Larry, if you're listening, just hang him up. Okay? Just hang him up.
So who's their second receiver? I'm drawing a blank right now.
AJ Green.
It was.
They got AJ Green, didn't they?
They got AJ Green and they got Christian Kirk over there.
Yeah,
Christian Kirk is who I'm thinking of, but they got
Kirk's having a big year. I mean, AJ Green might be in a walking boot by week 4. I love him, but
his foot, he's not gonna play.
AJ Green could help though. That veteran presence.
Kyler Murray is one of my MVP favorites for next season. I'm very high on Kyler Murray.
He was on a little bit of a run last year. He was
my dark horse to win it last year.
Yeah.
Like, he could definitely win it. Now I'm definitely thinking he's a favorite.
That's a good question to do. Who do you guys have winning MVP this year?
Man, I don't know.
I got a dark for my dark horse, who I don't think people are talking about.
Let's do top pick, and then let's do a dark horse candidate.
My dark horse I'll start with is Matt Stafford. I think he's finally in a situation where he can win. He's got a great coach. I mean, we've seen how talented Matt Stafford is. He stayed relevant in Detroit. That speaks enough about how good he is. I mean, to stay relevant and to be that team's quarterback for 10 years and to play at the level he did, he's played through injuries. He's finally ready to bunker down. I think the Rams are going to have a really, really, really good season. He's got a ton of talented wide receivers over there. For my favorite to win the MVP, I Kyler Murray's a little bit, I have him as one of my favorites, but I was high on him coming into the season because I think it's time. I think Russell Wilson, especially now that you said Tim Grover, that was non-biased. Even if we said it, I just think it's time. Russell Wilson is too good not to win an MVP. He's just too good not to win one. And obviously you could say Mahomes, but that would be kind of boring. Patrick Mahomes, but Russell Wilson, I think you guys can agree with me. He's way too good not to have an MVP under the belt.
Yeah, that's funny you said that. I was thinking the exact same thing, especially coming off the last season woes. I feel like people are starting to sleep now, on Seattle a little bit, and especially Russell Wilson. And I feel like this year, I think he has a great mentality, and I believe that he's going to work hard and, prove to everybody that, he's still the guy he was, a few years ago, and even better than that. And I think that he's going to come out on top this year. And another thought, obviously, you just said Mahomes. I do see them running the table this year. I see them coming back with a vengeance and definitely achieving greatness. I see Mahomes going off this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we're going where I'd have to put my money, Mahomes is obviously the best bet. But two names that I think to look out for potential really good career years.
If you say Carson Wentz, I'm logging off. Don't say if you're going to say it, I'm logging off. I swear. I will not stay on for the pod. I promise you. If his name comes up, you will see the end of me for tonight.
One name I want to bring up first, and this goes totally against the grain, but we cannot deny the possibility of this man having a good season. Dak Prescott, I'm nervous, could have a very, very solid season. He was having career statistics before he had the ankle injury last year. And if you look at that offense, I'm not talking about the Cowboys being good as a team, being good as a team as a whole, but that offense is loaded with talent.
Absolutely.
Elliott, you have CeeDee Lamb, you have Cooper, you have Gallup. And who's the tight end that I'm drawing a blank right now? He's very good.
He's not very good, but
no, he is good. He got hurt.
Jason Witten?
No, not Jason Witten. Oh my gosh.
I think his name's Pat Ruane.
Let me look it up. Yeah. I don't remember him being good. Let's see.
No, look up Dallas's tight end.
Jim, I like that take because I do think Dak Prescott's a top 10 quarterback. I really do. I know that is crazy.
In that offense, I could see Dak Prescott honestly throwing for 5,000 passing yards.
I saw a quote today by him. He said,
Jarwin. His name's Jarwin.
Yeah, Blake Jarwin.
He's good. He's going to be a good tight end.
He tore his ACL though.
He's already questionable.
Listen, I'm telling you, that's a fantasy.
The guy's knee is sideways. So.
Yeah.
For our listeners, if you guys play fantasy football, a late round steal, Blake Jarwin, I would take him. If
our listeners are listening, don't take Blake Jarwin. He's going to get maybe 3 catches a game.
And I'm glad this is kind of towards the end of our segment, and I'm going to bring it up. Guys, you're going to have to watch out for a Carson Wentz MVP campaign. It's
been a good night. Nice. Pleasure.
That organization, you cannot deny the success that organization has had over the years. They take quarterbacks and they turn them into very, very good players. I mean, Jacoby Brissett excelled in that system. And he's a backup quarterback, and he did very well when he played with the Indianapolis.
Excel is far-fetched. That you're really giving him props. Excel,
not excel, but he was above average for them. He won 3 games out of 4.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, excel is you're really what are you, his mother? I mean, he didn't have that. He wasn't that good.
Excel is 100% the wrong word, but Jacoby Brissett turned into.
He was solid.
So he did well in that system. And I think Carson Wentz comes back in there, reunited with Frank Reich, and just balls out, honestly.
I could see maybe a comeback player of the year award, but as far as MVP, I'm not so sure about that.
Right. So I want a dark horse from you. I want somebody, a name that, Yeah, like a name.
Doesn't even have to be a quarterback either, because that's another.
I was gonna say no. I'm gonna divvy away from a quarterback. I was gonna say maybe in our own NFC East, a little young guy. I know Bryce. I know you love him, but Saquon Barkley just having a breakout year. He's got to burst on the scene.
He's my guy. You know that.
Huh?
He's coming off the ACL.
I know.
Yeah, but he's significantly more athletic than Blake Jarwin. I just like him to bounce back a little bit better from that injury than Blake Jarwin.
I'm not comparing Saquon. I'm not comparing Saquon Barkley to Blake Jarwin at all.
I hope not.
I hope not either.
But
nice.
Barkley, that's a good pick.
He's definitely got some good odds. The only reason I just it's tough to give it because it's just a quarterback award. You guys know it. Like
Derrick Henry though.
Derrick Henry has deserved. Derrick Henry could have easily won the MVP the last 2 years. Probably Mahomes definitely deserved it 2 years ago, but Derrick Henry
was close.
He definitely could have won the MVP this year. I get Rodgers definitely deserved it too, but you definitely could have argued Derrick Henry to win the MVP this season. It's just tough to give it to a running back. I just think it's a quarterback award. Like when you think of the NFL, you think of the quarterback position. That's the reason why teams, like perfect example is last year, Mahomes was the MVP of the Super Bowl. You easily could have given that award to the running back. I forget his name, but it's just the league wants to give it to the quarterbacks. They want to give it to the star players. So that's why I think it's tough, but I like that pick a lot, Rags. That's a slept on pick.
And actually when we bring about Bryce, good point bringing up the quarterbacks and how it's a quarterback, run. One more dark horse candidate that I completely forgot. It just slipped my mind. Josh Allen. Book it.
Oh,
Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. Second year with Stephon Diggs. That team,
That team got better. That team got
better.
That's a combo.
Look
And
at
an absolutely phenomenal head coach. A phenomenal head coach.
Sean McDermott is a beast.
He was with the Eagles, and we let him just go away.
We also let John Harbaugh walk away.
Andy Reid, we could just go on and on about it.
But we let Doug Peterson walk away.
Todd
Bowles. So Josh Allen, the jump that he made between 2 years ago and last year, I think he's only just going to get that much better this year. I could see him very easily solidifying himself as a top 3 MVP candidate this year.
No, for sure. That guy he's the closest thing, which nobody's even close. So I just want to point this out there to the pod. Mahomes is an absolute god on the football field. We will never see a player of his category again. But Josh Allen is like the closest thing to that when it comes to throwing the ball, crazy plays.
Talent.
He's an exciting guy to watch. I was wrong about him last year. I can admit to that. I definitely did not think he was going to be nearly as good as he was.
Yeah, he did ball out. And I want to get, before we end off here, first instinct, whoever you guys got, Rags, will start with you. I want the team coming out of the AFC and NFC.
I'm going to be boring here. I think the Chiefs, as I said before, I just think they're going to run the table. I think they're too strong this year. I see the Bills, coming up very close. I think, as we're just talking about Josh Allen, I think he's a beast. I think he's the closest thing to Mahomes. You said definitely not on his level, but I see that Super Bowl loss stinging them, and I see them coming back this year with a vengeance. As far as the NFC, I see this as way more wide open. I'm going to go on a limb and go with Matt Stafford. I think the Rams. I think
it was Bryce. It was my take. It was my take, wasn't it?
It was your take. That's exactly what led me to
Rams.
Point. I think the Rams got a very complete team. I think they've had a complete team for the last few years, with the exception of Jared Goff.
They found their missing piece. They found their missing piece.
For Jared Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff was a bad quarterback.
Oh, I'm not hearing anything else. He's not good. He's deserves to be where he's at now in Detroit. His career is pretty much.
I don't think anyone deserves that, Rags.
Yeah, it's a little hard, but. No, as far as that, I think Matt Stafford, I think he was the missing piece. I think him and McVay have already been getting along well, and I think they will click. And I think the whole offense, as well as Aaron Donald keeping that defense solidified, and Jalen Ramsey, I think they'll take it to the Super Bowl.
Love that pick, Rags.
All right, Bryce, you're up next. Who do you got? So Rags has Chiefs, Rams. Who do you have coming out of the AFC and NFC?
Jim, you know me. I'm a hot take guy. Like, I like to give them hot takes. Rags knows it. I'm a hot take guy.
Fly, right?
No, I'm not going to get too crazy.
All right.
I'm not going to get too crazy. But no, what I'm making a point, this ain't going to be a hot take. These are not going to be hot. I'm with Rags. The Chiefs are definitely going back. I actually think they, at max, will lose one game this season. Like, in the regular season. I just don't – they're going to dominate. They solidified the offensive line with getting one of the best centers in the league with Joe Tooney, I believe it is, from the Patriots, and then getting Ronnie Stanley from the Orlando Brown. My apologies. Orlando Brown from the Ravens for, a first round pick. That's a steal for a guy like that, an all pro type tackle. You solidify the offensive line, protect Mahomes, protect, everything. You still got Hill, Kelsey all in their primes. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to have a monster season. Remember, he's going to have a monster season, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Just want to point that out there. And I know this is boring, but I got to go with the Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm not, ever since Brady came back in the Super Bowl 28-3, I refuse to doubt that man. When anytime he touches the football field, he can win the football game. I don't care if he's down by 100. I got to say, that team literally brought back everybody else. They're the same exact team as they were last year. I see Leonard Fournette even having a bigger year because I think he wasn't fully he wasn't comfortable with that offense yet. I think now he's fully comfortable with it. I just see guys having big years. Mike Evans, obviously still a really solid guy. They still have 3 really solid tight ends over there. Gronk really came on at the end of the season. Plus Scotty Miller, baby. Scotty Miller, solid.
Scotty Jetpacks.
Yeah. When it comes to it, though, I think Mahomes will get the better of Brady. That's my pick. I think Mahomes will get the better of Brady.
Is there a way I can kick somebody out of the Zoom call real quick?
I think if they play again in the Super Bowl, I think Mahomes will get the better of them. I do. But it's going to be close. I mean,
I don't think, all right, so I don't think it would be Mahomes getting the better of Brady, I think it would be Andy Reid getting the better of Bruce Arians.
Yeah,
And
you could say that. You could say that.
so, but for me, I'm going to start out with the NFC. I see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming out of it again. I just don't see any other teams right now. There looks like there's a lot of distress over there in Green Bay with the whole Rodgers situation. It doesn't look like they're a cohesive unit right now. Nobody in the NFC East has any shot of coming anywhere close to the Super Bowl. The Saints, they have no quarterback right now. They don't even know who's going to be their starting
The
quarterback.
Saints are going to be terrible.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks do not have a good defense, especially not good enough to slow down that offensive firepower that Tampa Bay has. They do return all their players, like you said, Bryce. They also get back O.J. Howard, who was out last year. He's another key addition. And I think having a full year non-COVID will just make that team that much better. I mean, you could
Plus, you give a guy like, sorry to interrupt, like a guy like, first off, Antoine Woodfield, I talked about it all the time, and I would have told you a year ago. I told that guy should have been a first-round pick. I still don't understand how he could have fallen into the second round. He was already a stud in his rookie season. I think he's going to even take a bigger leap in his second year. Plus, they have the best linebacker in the NFL, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, I don't think you can.
Devontae David or
Devin White. I think Devin White's the best linebacker.
White, yeah,
I mean, plus Devontae David ain't far behind.
They're right there.
That's something not talked about enough with this team. I mean, that they have an unbelievable defense along with an unbelievable offense. They're fun to watch.
The cornerbacks, they had the
Bunning.
Yeah.
Who was huge. He had an interception in almost every playoff.
On the scene, in the playoffs, he was amazing. So, against the Packers, he was on fire.
Like I said, I mean, it pays to have good chemistry, and that team is returning everybody in a year that's not.
Plus, they got to keep. Sorry to interrupt you. Plus, they got to keep Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich. We know firsthand it's very rare to be able to keep your whole coaching staff after winning a Super Bowl. That doesn't happen very often. They were able to keep everybody. They're the same team as last year, and I feel like they were really coming on at the end of the season. They're coming into the season hot. I don't really see them struggling. I think they get the job done, especially in a pretty. I think their division's definitely not going to be solid. Atlanta's going to not be great. I don't think the Saints are going to be good at all. And I mean, I actually think that the Panthers are going to be solid. I think Sam Darnold improves a lot over there. Possible comeback player of the year candidate. But no, they'll handle that division pretty easily. They're going to win at least 6 out of 8 games in the division, no doubt.
Yeah, I see. I was about to say, I see Tampa Bay coming out of the NFC. I see them winning at least 13 games this year. I know that the season extended a little bit. I could see this team easily going 13-4. And now out of the AFC, I'm going to shock you guys with my pick. And this is not just a hot take or throwing this out there. This is truly who I feel is winning. And I'm going with the Tennessee Titans. Many people forgot this team just made a move for Julio Jones. Not to say that he was the Julio Jones of 3 or 4 years ago, but when you bring a guy in like Julio Jones to go opposite of A.J. Brown and then Derrick Henry, they can't crowd the box anymore. Defenses can't load up all 11 guys in the middle and try to stop this man, Derrick Henry. Now they're going to have to back up, and now they're going to have to cover both Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. And it's not like Ryan Tannehill is not a good quarterback. He's a very good quarterback.
He's a very good quarterback.
And that defense over there in Tennessee is extremely tough, and Vrabel's got it all lined up. I think you could see the Tennessee Titans making a very big run. They're my pick to come out of the AFC. Guys, you guys want to add anything before we knock off? That was a very good show.
No, I think that's a great. I just want to say I like that pick a lot. I'm a big Tannehill guy. I've always been really high on him. I always thought he was a really solid quarterback. He finally just found the right system. It took him a year. I knew he could be a top guy in the league for sure.
It didn't work out in Miami, and they just had the wrong coaches.
Adam Gase was his coach.
I mean, he goes to a good coach, someone who knows football, someone who's played the game, especially at the highest level, and that team is just strong all the way throughout. Offense, defense, special teams. I could see them giving the Chiefs a run for their money and coming away with the AFC title this year.
I definitely agree. I think the AFC needs to be on the lookout for the Tennessee Titans. I think it's a problem this year.
I also think what's huge, just before we go, I want to make a point too. Julio is not a big touchdown guy. So I think it's going to even be bigger that the fact that I think A.J. Brown is the big touchdown guy. So I think they're going to complement each other. Plus, A.J. Brown's going to his 3rd year. All I ever hear is that the 3rd year defies a wide receiver. That's when they really take their leap and they, go off to be elite.
Bryce, good point coming up about the red zone. I mean, when those guys get in the red zone, who are you zoning in on? Julio, AJ Brown or Derrick Henry, because those are all big boys.
Either all three. You're a winner. You're a winner with all three.
Yeah,
That's exactly.
not much you can do.
There's a multitude of plays that you could come up with to score a touchdown, and I don't think a team like the Chiefs have anybody to mark up. And like Matthew's a good defender, but can Matthew truly cover Julio Jones in the red zone?
I think the one big issue though is I know it's crazy, but it's a point I need to make. I think Tannehill's big on throwing to his tight end. Losing Joanna Smith is going to hurt the team just a little bit, not a lot, but he's a big loss for them. He got in the end zone a lot.
Well, who did they pick up?
I couldn't tell you.
We'll have to look that up after the
I
show.
don't think I mean losing Joanna Smith is going to be, not like it's not going to kill him, but it's a significant guy to lose. It is. He's a good player.
All right, yeah. Well, that was it. Rags, you want to add anything before we get off? Good.
I think we covered everything.
To go over what we just said, listen, Rags has the Kansas City Chiefs and the Seahawks, right?
Rams.
Oh yeah, the Rams. That was a good pick. Look out for the Rams this year with Matthew Stafford. Sean McVay called him what did he say? He's called him a beast or something when he came to the first training camp. Yeah, MVP. So look out for that combination. Rams and Chiefs. Bryce has Bucks and Chiefs. I have Bucks and Titans. Those are the teams. Listen, guys, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the podcast. We can be found anywhere on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, literally anything. If you guys want to come on, reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to have you guys. Rags, thank you again, taking time out of your day to come on. Bryce, once again, good job.
Go Birds, baby. Thank you, Rags.
Go Birds. Good episode, fellas. All right, everyone have a good one. See you.